Christian from Gaza. I want to share my message to you all today as someone who grew up in Gaza and still has my family there. Our church that we grew up in was bombed today. Hundreds of people were seeking refuge in that church. People are trapped and are dying under the rubble right now, and they are trying to rescue them. There are people who I grew up with that have died in this bombing. Those who have survived there, losing their parents, siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles, and grandparents. And we need you all to speak up and demand a ceasefire and stop the bombing in Gaza. There is no justification for bombing a church. There is no justification for bombing a hospital. There is no justification for bombing an innocent person's home. There is no justification in bombing a refugee camp.
At Super, we work to educate people on Palestine, its history, the land, the people, and the near century-long resistance. We work to fight PSU's connection to the Zionist occupation of Palestine. We seek to end the presence of Boeing, the world's second largest arms manufacturer, on our campus.
Resistance is justified when people are occupied. Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Long live Palestine! Long live Palestine!
I'm protesting here today just to bring awareness to this misinformation that's going on around the internet and all like the misinformation going on about Gaza. And I'm from Palestine myself, and I got family in Gaza. That's where my family's from.
Have you been able to contact your family in Gaza in the past week or so?
Not really, to be honest. It's very hard to contact people there. They're like punishing people, and like as you've seen in the U.S., like they even talking about Palestine, you can get in trouble for that. Like 6-year-old just got stabbed 26 times. A kid just got thrown off a building for just stop being Palestinian. Like it's just sad to see that. Like even in the U.S., this is happening to us today.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
I've thought for a long time about what I want to say today. I've been thinking a lot about my grandmother, who in 1948, at 7 years old, was forced out of her home by Zionist settlers and walked all the way to Damascus, only to never set foot in her home again. I'm wondering what my grandmother must think right now, still in Syria, she herself, older than the state of Israel, watching another Nakba occur in her lifetime. I've accepted that there will never be a perfect way to express the grief and the rage that I feel. As Palestinians, our grief and rage transcends generations and fuels the fire that will liberate our homeland one day soon. I know that many of you here already know the statistics and the facts. We know that over 4,000 Palestinians have been slaughtered by the Zionist Israeli settler colony. We know that the United States sends over $3 billion a year to this settler colony to ensure this slaughter. And we know that in Illinois, just days ago, a 6-year-old Palestinian boy by the name of Wadiyar was stabbed 26 times as a result of the lies, the misinformation, the racism, and the Islamophobia that runs deep in this country and around the world. My question to you is this: how many children have to die before enough is enough? How much bloodshed is enough for the world to realize that this is a genocide? I am so sick of the silence. Silence from even the most politically liberal people. Are Palestinians not good enough victims for you to protest for? Have we not suffered enough at the hands of this wretched occupation that is funded by our tax dollars? And truthfully, what do you think decolonization even means? At this university, they have made it a point to make land acknowledgements, to honor the land that belongs to indigenous Palestinians. So with one hand, this university pretends to care about human suffering, and with the other, they pocket profits from their deals with weapons manufacturers participating in funding this genocide of indigenous people.
Do you feel ignored by your representatives like Blumenauer and Wyden, or even Biden and going to Israel?
Yeah, I feel like ignored. Like a lot of people just like no one's like really helping Gaza. Like all these kids are just dying every day. Like one kid is killed every 15 minutes. Like it's crazy that all these kids are dying and no one's like supporting them and bringing awareness to the fact that they're just kids dying. Like they can't defend themselves at all.
I'm here today in support of Palestinian lives because my faith compels me, as a Jew, to speak out against the atrocities committed by a country that claims to work for my interests. I went to Palestine, Israel as a naive 25-year-old with genuine questions about the quote-unquote conflict there. I fell down in the sand at the foot of that monstrous wall with its turrets and silent snipers that looms at the crossing to Ramallah, is anonymous and cold and evil. And every part of my being and my body said no. This is not right. What I have come to learn is the Israeli war machine does not work in the interests of the Jewish people. The hatred that has sought to systematically crush Palestinians works in the interests of white colonialist powers. The same powers that will turn on Jews as soon as it's politically convenient. Our liberations are intrinsically entwined. Our safety is together. It is now and it always has been. And I want to know what part of never again don't they understand?
Free, free Palestine! Gaza will be free! Gaza will be free! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
The heart and strength the Palestinian people have demonstrated in the face of such odds should inspire us all. They're standing in the face of injustice and they're not backing down. They understand the risk and they know that they cannot stop fighting. They'll be decimated if they stop fighting. That's why it's our job to fight for them here. They're fighting for justice. They're fighting for justice. That's what we're fighting for. Justice, all of us. They fight like great black leaders, Malcolm X and Nelson Mandela, for justice. The Palestinian people aren't just your brothers and sisters in Islam. They're also your brothers and sisters in humanity. You have a duty to them.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
What do you feel like the general public misunderstands about this issue?
I feel like the general public is misunderstanding about Hamas, and they're thinking that it's like a terrorist group that's like going to kill Jews, but that's completely false. And the article, or no, it wasn't even an article, someone said, oh, 40 Jew babies were cut off, but that was false, and that was proved false by CNN. And yeah, it's just like, it's very sad to see that this is going on now.
Yeah. How do you personally feel about Hamas, and who do you feel is responsible for the situation that we have in Gaza?
I mean, it's unfair to say that, oh, Hamas is terrorizing them when Israel is just bombing all these like hospitals and these little kids, and like no one's like seeing the fact that like the actual terrorist group is Israel. They have all of the funds from the U.S. and everywhere, and they're just bombing like the hospitals, the kids, the houses, evicting them out of their houses. And honestly, like, yeah.
If your liberal politics don't include actual liberation, we want nothing to do with it. Many of us have seen what is happening on the ground in Gaza right now and have felt despair and hopelessness. I want you to know this. There are no people in the world more resilient than Palestinians. For over 75 years, the Zionists settler colonists tried to exterminate us, and still we refuse to back down. We all must understand that despite this ongoing, horrific genocide in Gaza, Palestine has never been closer to liberation. The mainstream news media and the Zionists are working overtime to flood our algorithms with misinformation and propaganda shadow ban our voices online. They are doing this because they fear us. They know that if the truth is in our hands, liberation is inevitable. We are smarter. We are smarter and we are stronger than the Zionist entity because we have humanity on our side. We have truth on our side. And we have solidarity on our side. Trust in that, and I promise you, we will see a liberated Palestine within our lifetime. Until then, there is work to be done.
No one should congratulate you for being here today. You should be here. We all should be here. All of Portland should be here. To make change, you're not always going to be comfortable. You're not going to feel happy. Maybe you won't make new friends. People won't like you. Standing for justice is not popularity. Injustice is all around the world, and the whole world is standing for evil right now. Unfollow that celebrity. Boycott McDonald's. Boycott Starbucks. Stop going to Starbucks. You may think our voices aren't heard or that they don't matter or that our actions won't make a difference, but there is hope. We are that hope. All of us are that hope. I'm a proud African-American Muslim, a proud Moroccan, and I stand for Palestine. I choose Palestine every day. Free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Our demands are as follows. End the siege on Gaza and end U.S. military funding to the settler colony of Israel. We demand this university divest from weapons corporations such as Boeing that arm the Israeli occupation. Super and many organizations like Super will continue the fight to liberate Palestine, but the fight requires all of us. Protect your Muslim, Arab, and Palestinian community members. Engage in conversation that is liberation-oriented. Join an organization. Follow boycott, divest sanctions, and start learning about effective tactics that contribute to this fight. I will leave you with words from a farewell letter the Gaza city government sent to their sister city in Barcelona. The letter reads, "We don't know if we'll be able to keep in contact from now on, so please tell the following generations about us. If we don't exist anymore, tell them about how beautiful and charming the Palestinian people were and how committed they were to their land and cause. May God rest their souls